This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Sedita.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. We are trying something a little bit different here. We are obviously the Good Neighbor Podcast, but today we are presented by Lobo Business Sales. Dave Breton is the owner of Lobo Business Sales, but he is one of these Renaissance people. He's an actor. He's a producer. He buys and sells businesses. He does all of these things, and he does it all over Tampa, all over the United States. But what today we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about one of his passions, and that is movies. So with the recent release of Indiana Jones and is it like the Indiana Jones and the geriatric disability? What is the name? What is the name of the movie?
That is Indiana Jones, but you can't. He's been an icon for 40 years. That's like making fun of Shatner with the Star Trek, man. We can't start the podcast like that.
We can't.
This is going to be a short podcast.
No, you're going to have to pull me out. You're going to have to convince me. Okay, so listen, let's do a quick Harrison Ford. You know, American Graffiti, like the mysterious cool guy. Obviously, Han Solo, one of the baddest guys in the galaxy.
Absolutely.
You know, Indiana Jones, and he's done a ton of other great movies, but
Star
Indiana
Wars,
Jones,
yeah.
What's the other one?
Well, I mean, you got Star Wars. I mean, this is the tribute right here. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
So is this movie? So real quick, this Good Neighbor Podcast is sponsored by Lobo Business Sales. If you are interested in buying or selling a business, starting a franchise, or if you're a franchisor and you're like, you know what, I need to get out and I need to go back to corporate America, or I need to make a bunch of money and retire, Dave is your man. You can reach him at 813-395-9552 or at lobobusinesssales.com. Dave, fill us in a little bit on the Indiana Jones new release.
Well, one of the things actually I like of movies and actually seeing everything put together. Yes, there's going to be some people that are going to bash it. It is a little slow getting into the storyline, but just like reading a book, you like to see everything conclude. You know, like when we saw, Rocky 35. I take that back. What do we?
Listen,
Rocky
that doesn't end. It just goes on to the next guy.
He's going. This is the way it is. But this actually it brings everything to heart and brings everything to a close. I don't want to give out too many spoilers, but people actually that have seen it, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, you're going to notice a lot of stuff there. And for the true, I always consider myself one of the film nerds. You know, Comic-Con, I'm that guy, right? So
who do you dress as at Comic-Con, Dave? Tell us who you dress as at Comic-Con. Do you go as Darth Vader?
Well, no, man, that's easy. Bam.
Look, we got props.
Right there.
Iron Man. All right, well, listen, that's not bad. I was Batman. I was always Batman. I don't even know where my cowl is, but so that's cool. So I do love the Marvel movies, but I'm a DC. Grew up as Adam West Batman was my guy. Right. But let's stick to Indiana Jones. So the movie itself is like the fifth one, right? Like there were three. There was Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom.
And then with Sean Connery as his father and stuff like that. But it's like
there was one in between though, wasn't there? With like Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, but it's like when I really like how this one ended though. I really did, and I'm trying to think of the actresses that's going to be his supporting on it.
Karen Allen is not in it. She's like 100 years old.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to give spoilers, but you'll see some recognizable things. And what's crazy is like you can tell the people that are really film buffs, because when they make these little cameos, it's almost like when Stan Lee comes out on the Marvel movies, and you're like, hey, and everybody like the whole crowd. So
there was a lot of that. There's a lot of that in. I saw now. So this is the crazy thing about our movie review here, right? So I have not seen Indiana Jones, so I don't know anything about it. You're going to kind of fill us in without giving away spoilers. But I did go see The Flash last week or the week before, whatever it was. And the same thing. It's a ton of cameos. They literally dug people up for cameos in Flash. So when people show up in Indiana Jones, you get that like in the movie, like everybody gets into it.
You get that, but it's a good storyline. I do like how they kind of brought the story from Raiders of the Lost Ark all the way back, back in it. And let's face it, there's always the evil in the world, and they try to bring that back and stuff like that. So it was all good. On Flash, I think a whole bunch of people got in a room and said, how much CGI can we do in one movie?
Oh, you saw Flash. Flash?
Yeah. A lot of people are bashing it, but I don't bash movies because I know how much work goes into like literally like a 2-minute YouTube. Oh, yeah. It's insane.
The thing about Flash, all right, so we've both seen Flash, so we'll kind of bring that into this too. So the thing about Flash is this. Ezra Miller is one of the most annoying actors. The character is designed to be a little bit annoying because he's a kid, right. But he plays it so well because I think that's his persona. But he's just a little over the top for me. And there's a lot of stuff going on. When we get multiverses happening in these genres, there's so many things going on that you miss a little thing here and there. But yeah, they literally, spoiler alert a little bit on Flash. I mean, they brought back Supermans and Batmans and people from all over the place. So
but you're talking about you're talking about multiverse and stuff like that. And I mean, with AI and everything that's coming out, I mean, we got what the Zuckerberg Elon death match that's coming up. I mean, that's going to be in a we're just living in it. So you got to enjoy.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. I want to kind of stick to Indiana Jones because we can talk about the Flash, we can talk about multiverse movies that were done well, like Spider-Man and stuff like that. But sticking to Indiana Jones. So, what time frame? Because the original ones are a lot of stuff's around Nazi Germany, the 40s, etc. Right. What time frame are we in this movie? Because obviously, listen, the joke in the beginning of the podcast, Harrison Ford is in his 70s, right? And he's still battling it out and whipping people and doing whatever, but. Have they moved the timeline up and it's modern day enemies, or is it still kind of set back?
I don't want to give out spoiler alerts, but I'll say there's 3 timelines that they do. Okay. So, I mean, without giving too much, I think this is already out on. So, if anybody wants no spoiler alerts, cover your ears. But there's different time travels that happen in the movie. So you will see different parts. And actually what's pretty wild is there's obviously some CGI that goes into the film on some of these things. They actually did it pretty well where, I mean, obviously film techniques have got a little bit better. It doesn't look like Godzilla in Tokyo back in the things that those are awesome. But no, you'll definitely enjoy it. So
let me ask you this. So it's not really a multiverse like the DC and the Marvel stuff, but is it flashbacks into different times or is it actual time travel?
A little bit of both, and I don't want to give out too much.
All right. I'm painting the picture in my head. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm painting the picture in my head. He finds some artifact that can actually shift time or whatever.
You're too smart, man. You're putting too many pieces together. You're giving it away, man.
It's like I've seen a movie here or there.
That's it.
So let me ask you this: let's stick to Indiana Jones. Which is your favorite movie? Which out of all of the 3 ones with Harrison Ford, the one with Shia LaBeouf, we just kind of drop off, and then this
Doom. Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom is the darkest one out of all. And they're ripping hearts out of little kids in Temple of Doom.
Well, I mean that's one part, but I just think like everything that you go through in there is just amazing. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's good. And you have a lot of Nazism that he's like.
I like the Last Crusade too.
But it's pretty. Raiders.
All right, so what actor's favorite movie of all time is Temple of Doom?
No.
Kate Capshaw. That's where she met Steven Spielberg, and she ends up marrying him, and she becomes a bazillionaire. Okay. So that's her favorite Indiana Jones. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. So and I think there's a lot of good films that are coming out. You got that Oppenheimer film.
That looks good. I want to see that.
Woo! That one's even if you don't see the film, for a film buff or that's not not the actors or actresses you like, that event. I mean, I grew up in New Mexico, so it's like you got Los Alamos, and I mean that was that transformed our world when the nuclear fusion started happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, it took us into a new age and all that stuff. And then I'm wondering how much of that stuff they're going to get into in that movie. Of,
it looks amazing.
How we captured German scientists and brought them here and basically created NASA and created the all this different stuff. I don't know how much they're going to get into it, but it's Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan,
he's in the Peaky Blinders. He's got the Peaky Blinders, man.
Well, but I mean, the Batman trilogy, his is probably the best Batman trilogy out of all the different Batman stuff. Inception is phenomenal. Inception is one of those movies that you just are guessing about over and over again. So to wrap this up, let me ask you this: if I'm going to spend, I don't even know what theater do you go? Do you go to B&B up here? Do you go down to AMC?
I'm an AMC guy.
You are.
I have I have a special place in my heart for actually the AMC right here on Bruce B. Downs.
Yeah.
When my wife and I first came here, we lived in the Holiday Inn when we were looking for our house.
Right across the street.
Yeah, and it's like, we didn't know where we were going to go. And I'm like, there's a movie theater right there. So I probably saw 3 to 4 movies a day. That they still have the same TGI Fridays. And I mean, you're a northern boy. So it's like you come down here and I'm like expecting, spend $10, $15 for beers. And they're like, oh, no, this is happy hour. Or when they say, we apologize, sir, happy hour is over. Your drafts are $1.50 now. I'm like, really?
Oh, at TGI Friday?
So it's like
go see a movie, and then all right. So let's kick this back a little bit. You and your lovely wife have been together she's a music buff. We found out recently, and you're a movie guy. What time frame are we talking about here? About 12 years ago?
No, we've been together. Well, actually, we've been married 25 years.
Well, how long have you been in Tampa? I want to know what movie
Tampa,
you guys were going to see in the AMC.
About 18, 19 years we've been
18 nights. So you're talking 2000. My math's not that great.
Yeah,
2005.
Early 2000. 2003, 4, something like that.
So what's the movie that when it comes on, when you're flipping through the channels and it's on TNT, it immediately brings you back to AMC with your wife in is there a movie? Is there one that just pops in there?
I'm trying I'm trying to think. You got me on the spot on that one.
All right, let me give you one of mine while you think about it. 1993, I live in Atlanta. I'm in my early 20s. I got 2 of my buddies. We go see Forrest Gump in this crappy little movie theater in like Powder Springs, Georgia, right? Like Cam Newton is from like Powder Springs, Georgia. Like nobody's from Powder Springs, Georgia. We're in the movie theater, 3 grown men in our 20s, all, full of testosterone, whatever. We're watching Forrest Gump. And at one point I look over to my buddy, like give him the side eye, and he's going like this, rubbing his eye because he's got a tear in his eye. I look at the next guy, he's rubbing his eye. And me, of course, I'm like a blithering idiot. I'm like Forrest Gump.
Really?
His girlfriend back. She's dying of AIDS. He's taking care of this kid. So we're watching this movie. We walk out. I turn to them. I go, that was a good movie. I said, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of sad parts. I said, you guys cry at all? And they're like, no, we didn't cry at all. So it was a big joke, right? Like these big guys, testosterone, whatever. But every time I see Forrest Gump, I immediately am transformed to that movie theater in Powder Springs, Georgia. That's what entertainment does for me. Music and movies bring me to a spot and a place in my life, and that's why they capture us so much. So is there a movie, if I riffed for about 90 seconds, is there a movie you could think of?
I don't really know. The ones that stick out, once again, is Iron Man. I think that just like, transformed it. It seemed like everybody was talking about it. And although there was Marvel movies before, there's just something
that movie
awesome.
set it off. That movie set it off. For me, the movie that changed everything with this new stuff, like that actually gave way so that Marvel and DC could do all these multiverses, for me, is The Matrix. Is 1999. The Matrix, they did stuff in that movie that the way they filmed and the way they did stuff, the cinematography of that film, to me, transformed movie making, because now you have the ability to do all. Now, it might have come along anyway, but to me, that was the first one. It touched boundaries of things in different dimensions.
That changed absolutely everything. So make sure that you watch the series that's dropping tonight, because
that's what I was going to talk to you about. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is a movie review podcast. It is the Good Neighbor podcast, but it's sponsored by Lobo Business Sales. If you're interested in buying or selling a business, contact Dave, 813-395-9552, or go to lobobusinesssales.com. Dave's other ventures, he is really a actor, producer, director, does all these things. He is going to be appearing in a live show in Gainesville in a few weeks. But what's coming out tonight, Dave? Tell everybody what's coming out tonight.
Actually, there's a series that was done, and the gentleman that did it was Barry S. McLeod. He's known as Florida's own Barry McLeod. So if you might have seen him on America's Got Talent and stuff like that, but he wrote a script, and the script is called Thug for President. And it is a series basically about corrupt politicians. I know that's a stretch. That's a stretch. And
so art is imitating life. Okay, I got it.
It's a stretch. And a drug dealer that basically wants to get out of the game, and he gets convinced to run for president. There's a lot of different storylines that go into about 13, 14 storylines. Each one of the episodes is going to be about 20, 25 minutes. And I believe the first season has 13 to 15 episodes. But he's dropping the first 2 tonight at 8 p.m. For free. And I believe he's it's going to be on barrysmcleod.com. But you can also, if you just type in Thug for President on YouTube, you'll be able to see the not only the trailers, but episode 1 and 2 and the links to those.
We'll definitely include that in the podcast so that people can get to it. We'll make sure that's out there and available for people to see. And before we go away, I'd be remiss if I didn't do this, because I know you're doing a live performance. I am not, unfortunately, going to be able to be there because I'm going to be out of town. However, why don't you tell everybody listening where you're performing, when it is? So if our listeners decide they want to jump in a car and drive up to Gainesville, we'll make you sweat even more doing a live performance. Tell everybody about that.
All right. Well, one of my co-stars in Thug for President convinced me to do this live view. He said, "Don't worry, you're going to be fine." And he said, "Everybody's going to love you." Then I look at my pages, and I'm the big villain of it. Villain is probably a nice way of saying it. Actually, it's going to be in the downtown Ocala Theater.
Ocala. Sorry, I said Gainesville.
And it's going to be "Don't Wait Until You Die." That's the name of the play. July 15th. Is going to be the only live performance. They are going to tape it, so it'll go to streaming service and stuff like that. But when I looked at this, I was just shaking my head, because it's like, don't worry, no one is going to be there, because I've never done live theater. And then I realized, it's going to be like in front of 400, 500 people. I'm like, but hopefully I don't forget my lines. Everybody enjoys it, and I keep telling everybody, I'm going to be the most hated man in Florida when people see how much of a villain that I have to play this character. But then, rightfully so, my co-actors, they mentioned, if everybody hates you, you played the part right. Yeah. Well,
So
sometimes you gotta be the villain.
Just to finish this out, because we want to get this up online here as quickly as possible so people can see it and get your opinion. First question is it worth the $20 plus popcorn's probably another $20 to go see the new Indiana Jones movie? Or do I wait for it to come out online, or on streaming, or do I just go to a matinee and try to save a few bucks? Is it worth the full ticket is what I want to know.
I would say yes, 100%. And not only that, but there's certain movies where you can experience those on streaming and stuff like that. And there's certain that you really have to see. You really should see this on the big screen. Kind of like, I know we were talking about Indiana Jones, but it's kind of like seeing Flash. I guarantee. Yeah. If you saw Flash on your, on when it hits streaming versus seeing it on the big screen, and maybe you have a couple cocktails, whatever, it's going to be completely different. Listen, Dave, we're in Florida. You could have cocktails at B&B up here in the Grove. You could sit in a nice recliner and have cocktails there too. So, but you're right. Like seeing it on the big screen with the full screen, the sound, and where the whole theater is rocking. There's certain movies you got to do. The opening scene from Saving Private Ryan is one of them. There's a bunch of Marvel. Woo, that's a big one.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, go back and play this over again. Dave Breton, Lobo Business Sales. This is the Good Neighbor podcast, sponsored by Lobo Business Sales. You can reach Dave at 813-395-9552 if you're interested in starting your own business, you're looking to buy a business, sell a business, or you can go to lobobusinesssales.com. Dave, thank you so much for being on the Good Neighbor podcast. We're going to get this up right away, and you guys could comment later on about whether you agree with Dave or not, whether you like the movie or not. There's always some good feedback. We'll post it on social media. Dave, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Passcode. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnppasco.com. That's gnppasco.com or call 813-922-3610.